Welcome to a brand new episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, episode number 142 for those counting at home. And today, redshirt sophomore Koy Buesgens. And you sure as hell know I practiced that with Koy before we even started. So, Koy, how many people get your last name wrong?
I would say pretty much everyone I ever meet, for the most part. Yeah, but it's not a big deal.
What teammate butchers it the most?
My teammates are pretty good about it,
Okay.
mostly because they usually don't say it unless they know it for sure.
Yep.
They'll just wait a little bit till they hear the correct pronunciation.
So let's put it to rest. Pronounce your own last name for us so we can get it right.
All right, it's Buesgens.
Buesgens. You know the country of origin or anything, or do you know background about it?
Um, it's pretty Irish, pretty German, kind of around that area. But yeah,
Popular.
mostly European.
Okay.
Not a super popular name.
Okay. Another one I got wrong before we were talking. Your hometown. Pronounce your hometown for me.
Yeah, so it's New Prague.
Where up in Minnesota is that exactly?
So it's about 45 to an hour south of Minneapolis, like kind of
Okay.
southwest of Minneapolis. It's right below the Minnesota River that cuts, so it's in the southern half. Minnesota River kind of cuts right across Minnesota, and it's like down over to the right of it.
So, big Vikings fan?
I am not a huge Vikings
Oh,
fan.
okay.
My dad is a huge Vikings fan because he's from Minnesota.
Yep.
He loves the Vikings. I grew up around the Vikings,
Okay.
mostly when they were really bad.
Yeah.
So it was tough to be a fan. And then obviously they're a solid team now, but
Yep.
I can't quite catch on to that.
Did your dad teach you about the purple people eaters?
Yeah, he's talked about them before. I've heard a lot
Okay.
about them. Heard they were a real force back in the day.
Absolutely. Solid defense. But Arctic chill here in Raleigh these last couple of days. Does this feel like a warm spring day to you? It got up to about 37 today.
Yeah, I don't know about a warm spring day. I've kind of adapted over the last 3 years
Okay.
to be used to the amazing weather here, but
Yep.
it felt like a shock to the past last 2 days.
I was gonna say I'm from Pittsburgh, so I have no northern blood. I hate when it gets to 60 degrees and lower. So, what
Yeah.
about you? Are you liking the heat of Raleigh, or do you miss the winters of Minnesota?
I definitely don't miss the winters in Minnesota. It was one of the reasons that I wanted to go south and get over here is to escape that. I love the warm weather. I love being warm. I was born in Tennessee, so I kind of had a little bit of warm bloodedness in me, and then we moved up to Minnesota when I was like 4 or 5. So got used to that. Don't miss it. So I love being warm. Stay away from the cold as much as possible.
What would you say a typical winter or typical snowfall is that you're missing out on now?
I know I checked the weather on Sunday, or it might have been Saturday, and it was like 60-ish here, and
Yep.
it was about
Yep.
25 in Minnesota. And I know they're getting snow right now,
Okay.
which I know in like Boone they're getting
Yep.
snow. But yeah, they're getting snow. It's freezing up there, so I love it. I love not having that.
Does it amaze you how Raleigh shuts down with like 2 inches of snow?
Yes. Yeah, the driving gets really bad, and it's pretty amazing. Last year when it snowed a little bit, I was honestly amazed with how bad some of the
Yeah.
driving was. People were driving like 10 miles an hour with like
Yep.
half an inch of snow.
I'm not sure there's anybody been from Minnesota to come to NC State wrestling before. That's kind of a unique area that you don't really. I don't think the Wolfpack is recruited. So, what led you to NC State during the recruiting process?
Yeah, I was recruited Adam Hall when Adam Hall was our
Mhm.
assistant coach at I wrestled at Pinnacle
Okay.
Wrestling Academy, and Jared Lawrence is one of the coaches there, and he is actually pretty good buddies with Adam Hall. So they're both from Utah. And that kind of led to a connection. And he was coming in for practices, watching practices. So, I kind of got linked through him. And then he came on home visits, and I talked a lot with those guys, went down there on my visit, and felt like a great place. I knew a lot of the guys on the team
Okay.
at the time, or heard of them and the incoming class, and knew it was going to be a great team. So fit exactly what I wanted.
And first question we're going to get into on the mat, kind of have to ask you the bridge of your nose. You're always bleeding up there. It still has a
Yeah.
scar. What led to that, or how long's that been going on? That scar that you have on your nose?
Yeah, so it started. I was on Accutane. I don't know if you ever heard of Accutane. It's like a medication to clear up. I had pretty bad chest and back acne for a while, so I was using it to clear up. And what it does is it makes your skin really dry, and it thins your top layer of skin. So my redshirt freshman year, or actually, yeah, the end of my redshirt freshman year, going into my sophomore year, my skin was really sensitive, and every time I would practice, it would just peel off my face. And at one point, I ripped open this whole part, and it just continued to rip open every time I practiced. I would put Band-Aids over it, cover it with Vaseline, and do whatever I could, but it never seemed to do much, and just kept breaking open. It actually healed up over this last summer.
Okay.
It was fully healed over, scarred over, and everything. And about 2-3-ish weeks ago, I was wrestling with RJ, and we were doing a pretty good live go, and he shot a few blast doubles, and I couldn't help but block with my forehead and just cut it open. And from there, it just hasn't been able to close again.
Just something you got to deal with. You get frustrated with the blood timeout sometimes.
Yeah, I don't like giving my guy a break, so it is a little frustrating. I'm usually not the one needing the break. So far I haven't had any blood time, which is good. It's a lot smaller than it used to be. It's really just a side part. It actually got pretty bad today when I was wrestling with Zabeta, but no, yeah, it's a little frustrating. I don't really feel it anymore. It's kind of like second nature. I don't even know if there's any nerves any there anymore, to be honest. But yeah, it's a little frustrating.
You mentioned that redshirt season. You were mainly at 141 as a redshirt, and obviously the last 2 years you've been at 149. Was the weight change always the plan, or did something happen to jump that weight class that last summer?
Yeah, I started when I went into my redshirt season. I wasn't quite sure if I was going to go down to 41 or 49. I wrestled 45 in high school my senior year, and put on a decent amount of weight, and those guys suggested 41. So I went down. It was just a better spot for me at the time. And it was a little bit of a struggle. Had some tough weight cuts here and there. Most of it was just getting used to cutting weight like those guys do. But in the off season, I went in Trumbull, and I went up to Cornell to work with Training Lab, and I kind of got my measurements and figured out like how low I could go healthily at the time. And it was about 40, like 2, or maybe like 41.3. So it wasn't really within a realistic range anymore. I'd grown a little bit, put a little more muscle on. So we kind of just made the decision to go up to 49, feel a little better. A little bit undersized with length, more last year than I think this year. I think I'm doing a better job with it. And I think I got a little bit bigger, got a little bit more used to the weight. But yeah, no, it's a better fit for me. Not killing myself to get down there. I feel good at the weight. And yeah, it's just a good spot for me.
But on the other end, would you say you're a full size 149 now this season?
Yeah, I think I'm a full size 41. Obviously, I have a different body type than a lot of those guys. But I got the strength to make up for it. I don't think I'm lacking there. I got the speed to make up for it. I'm dealt the hand that I'm given, and I'm gonna make the best out of it. change up my style a little bit to be able to fight that off. But I think it's moving in the right direction.
Okay. And last year, your first season in the lineup, podium finish at ACC's NCAA qualifier. How was the experience? How was the jump in levels from high school to being a redshirt freshman right out of the gate in the lineup?
Yeah, I mean it's a huge jump, especially going into a team like NC State where, you walk in and you got top level guys that are just ready to scrap with you, and the mentality is completely different. High school, it's a lot about technicality, and you can be a lot technically superior and you're going to dominate a guy, whereas in college you can be technically superior to someone and still get pounded because that guy's just going so much harder than you, and he's got a better pace and got a better mentality than you. But yeah, it was a big switch, and I feel good now. I feel acclimated. Last year was a great opportunity to continue to acclimate to it and really get in there and find where I was among those guys.
I was going to say, very tough to score on. You've had a lot of close matches last year. Coaches kind of challenge you over the summer to work, improve, get some new offense going. So, what did you do over the summer to focus on improvements for this season?
Yeah, I worked a lot on my offense, and a big part of creating offense was the ability to pressure and keep pressure on my opponent. And even just recently, I've had some breakthroughs with it, working a lot with Espo and Trent. Trent obviously has amazing pressure and amazing offense. He's an animal, and working with him, and I was just looking at a picture of myself at our Northern Colorado duel, and I was like, my body is built like almost exactly like Trent's. I'm just like a smaller version of him. And wrestling, and my wrestling style is kind of adapted a little bit to be a little more similar to him with being able to apply pressure.
Mhm.
And I've been feeling really good about it recently. I was able to open up on some guys, create a lot of offense on the feet at the tournament, the Southeast Open. I was able to score a lot of points. In the duel, opening in the third period, I was able to open it up quite a bit. Felt pretty good going in there. And yeah, a lot of it has been focused around creating opportunities with my pressure and getting to ties that I know that I can score from.
Have you hit Trent with an underhook yourself yet?
I've tried. Uh, if I get it, he's gonna get one right back.
Yeah.
So it's tough to win that.
You mentioned that Northern Colorado one, that third period, you were cutting him, taking him down, cutting him, taking down. So obviously, very good gas tank. What's the cardio machine of choice?
For the longest time, it's been a bike. It's been like a spin bike, and I usually crank up the resistance on
Yeah.
that and just give it a good go. But recently, I've been switching back to a treadmill.
Okay.
I don't particularly like running. Not the greatest long distance runner. I can go fast for a short distance, but I'm not really built for long distance. The coaches will tell you that. That's for sure.
Do they
Um,
still have the Jacob's ladder up at WB?
no, I don't think they have it at WB
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
They took it out when they renovated.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be in like the basketball facility or something, but no, it's not in our weight room or anything anymore.
That was a Coach Hall staple, by the way, so that's why I
Mhm.
brought it up. But, national duels this weekend, great opening round, you guys versus Northern Iowa. You're about at 149, 2 very good guys going at it. Just, it's gonna be a great competition the whole weekend, but as a wrestler, how excited are you for this new concept of the national duels?
It's really cool. It's a unique and fresh like take on the sport. They have all those incentives
Yeah.
for like quick scoring, most takedowns, stuff like that. I think it's really cool. it's a great opportunity to get really good competition in the beginning of the year. Sometimes that's hard to find. But it's going to be a really good tournament, a bunch of top 10 teams, top 10 guys all over the place. You're not going to have an easy match for sure. And it's a really good opportunity for us to go out there and, show what we're made of.
Do you like multiple matches in a day?
Yeah, I think I improve over the day. I think first match is always the toughest one. And then, you get into a mindset, you get into a flow, and it just builds. Each match builds on the next one. So I don't have a problem with it. I do enjoy wrestling more matches throughout the day.
149. This is your second year there in the ACC, but it's a heck of a lot different than it was last year. I think you might be the only returning starter. Stanford has Valencia. He had a top 5 win. I know Pitt has a good redshirt freshman. Virginia Tech, UNC, they're still working through their starters, but all you guys at 149, so young, but the weight is so wide open. How excited are you for this weight in the ACC this year?
Yeah, it's a cool. It's gonna be really cool. I haven't really wrestled any of those. I mean, I wrestled Valencia like 2 years ago in freestyle. It was a good match there, but I haven't met any of these guys before. Yeah. They're all fresh. It's a cool opportunity. I like wrestling new guys. Sometimes I like not knowing who I got and just stepping out there and just going at it to my best. But yeah, it's cool, not knowing any of these guys and just stepping out there, seeing a fresh face and new opportunity.
Going off the mat again, majoring in computer science. Very impressive major. You're in your 3rd year on campus here. So what kind of classes are you taking right now for that degree?
Yeah, so I'm actually kind of on the tail end of computer science. I'm just finishing up pretty much my last required classes for computer science, and they're mostly revolve around really understanding the concepts of the science and all, and how programming really works together and ties together, and building these programs. A lot of projects, too many projects. So I definitely have my hands full. My time's pretty short, but yeah, no, it's as I keep working through here. After this year, it's gonna really open up, and or actually after this semester, next semester I get to open up and look more into fields like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. So it's gonna I think be a lot more fun, and I'm gonna have a lot more opportunities to focus on things that I want to focus on. Yep. But yeah, it's been tough, but it's really cool to go out there and learn something that's applies so much to this world.
Is there a cool project that you've done or that you're going to be working on?
Right now, I just completed a project on. It's called a surveillance manager, and what it does is it would be used by a police department. Okay. And how they would use it is, what this program does is it takes the calls, a list of calls and a list of people that made the calls, and if you wanted to get a warrant to to get to someone, or to be able to listen to someone's calls, it finds the pathway and the connections between people's calls for the warrant. So if one person called this other person, you could get a warrant saying that you can talk to this person because this person talked to this person. If this person talked to another person, then you could say, well, this person talked to him, they talked to them, they talked to them, and it kind of interconnects people and allows for a police station to get a warrant to get people's information.
And obviously you talked about it. You like coding. I don't know if a lot of people like to admit that sometimes.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging, but it's really satisfying to see the end results. And it's really just one big puzzle. It's just a big puzzle of, the way I describe computer science is it's just a bunch of boxes with smaller boxes inside, and just everything contains something else, and it's just a big puzzle that you solve the smallest box, and that helps you solve this box on the outside, which help you solve the box, and then the whole big box is solved at the end. And it's cool to see how it all works out.
And then last one I'll ask you about this. What kind of career path do you think this sets you up on? What do you envision doing after NC State?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options out there, and it continues to evolve. It's a very changing market. But I look a lot into cybersecurity and working for like a firm doing software development and protection for businesses software, and then also AI, which is obviously huge right now. A lot of people are scared of it. But someone's got to build it, someone's got to make it, someone's got to manage it, someone's got to control it, and it's getting used more and more. So it's always good to look into that field and see what options I have there.
And I'll get your out of here on this. We're still in November, still have a very long ways to go till March. What are you kind of working on now to keep your improvement going as we're moving forward here with duels?
Yeah, I'm still working on my offense, still a big part of it. As of recent, I've been trying to work more on my top scoring on top. I know I can ride guys. I can ride guys hard, but I want to score. I want to score points on top. So right now I'm working on top riding and continuing to push myself to put it all out on the mat.
Koy, it's great catching up. First time podcast guest, I'm pretty sure. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Trent hasn't even got you on yet. So appreciate you taking the time. I know you're very busy with classes and national duels are coming up. Just a great opportunity this weekend for yourself, but it's a great opportunity for the Wolfpack, I believe.
Yep, I agree.
So, Wolfpack fans, until next time, this is another episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Go Pack.
Go back.